Have you ever seen your Doberman do this randomly after going to the bathroom, eating their food, or just before bed in the evening? Well, when your Doberman goes into that frantic craze, like just randomly, and it does happen to all Dobermans at some point, us owners just kind of sit back and casually say, oh, my Doberman's just got those Doberman Zoomies. But did you know there's actually another name for it? They're actually called Frenetic Random Activity Periods, or FRAPs for short. And today, we're going deep into what Doberman FRAPs actually are, what they say about what's going on with your Dobie, and whether it's a sign of a bigger problem lurking underneath. These episodes of Zoomies, or FRAPs, Frenetic Random Activity Periods, are really just really short, intense bursts of running, lunging, spinning, and just overall chaos coming out of your Dobie. It often consists of just high-speed running, usually indoors and usually in circles. Now, this typically happens most frequently in young or adolescent Dobermans, but it can happen to Dobermans of all ages. Now, there are some key times where Dobermans are absolutely known for just going off on this craze, namely right after a bath. That's a very common time. Also after going to the bathroom, especially number 2. After eating. That's common. And then also between about 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., or as us Doberman owners call it, the witching hour. Now, this type of activity, it's really sudden and often very unexpected for us Doberman owners. I mean, the human equivalent to this would be like, I don't know, being at work and finishing that spreadsheet and then just running around like a crazed maniac in the office in your office chair.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, it's a little nutty. So why is it that the Doberman breed always seems to get the Zoomies, or this FRAP behavior, and just go crazy? Well, really, it's because they're high-energy, high-drive dogs, and this is kind of like an overpressure valve for releasing that excess energy. Now, Doberman owners have noticed certain triggers that seem to really set this breed specifically off. For one, strong emotions. If they have a lot of joy and a lot of excitement, or a lot of stress, that tends to set it off. So do transitional moments. So if they're coming back in the house, or they're coming home from vacation, or they're just drying off after having a bath, a transitional moment tends to set these off. So does being just understimulated, whether it's mentally or physically, just not have enough stimulation for them. Dobermans are insanely intelligent, and they're definitely emotionally complex. So the exact triggers and reasons for this isn't always known, but these are the trends that owners are seeing. Now, do the Zoomies indicate that there's a problem with your Doberman? Well, in general, the Zoomies are safe for a healthy, happy Doberman, and you can typically expect to have it for some dogs as often as 1 to 2 times a day. But it is a signal of something going on with your dog. Hopefully it's normal. Consider it like a clue of what's going on just a little bit below the surface. It's an energy overload, and there could be a lot of causes for this. A very common one in this breed is not enough mental stimulation because they are so incredibly intelligent, or exercise. And sometimes it could just be a sign of built-up stress. There could be health issues going on underneath, which would definitely warrant a visit to the vet. Or it could be additional stress or anxiety. Again, this Zoomie stuff is a really good indicator of just one piece of a puzzle. So you do have to look for other behaviors that they're exhibiting and put that together as potentially a clue about what's going on with your Doberman. Separation anxiety, changing environments, even being rehomed, all these things can lead to this. And your Doberman could be knocking over people or furniture. Make sure the area is safe, and especially if you have slippery floors, because Dobermans, a lot of times young or old Dobermans especially, just kind of the two extremes on the age, they can slip and fall and kind of cause a problem on their hip. So if you could put down runners or rugs to help them have a little bit of grip in some area to let off this steam, that certainly can make it safer for them. And watch really closely how this plays out. If your dog is happy and bouncing and doing the play bow with their butt up in the air and they're perked up, that's a great sign. Usually that's a happy Doberman. But if your Doberman has their butt down, their tail tucked, they're kind of frantic, looking around, eyes darting around, this could be a fear issue, which could indicate a bigger problem. But don't worry too much, because this is a very normal behavior for this dog, unless it's paired with other issues that you're experiencing. In fact, Cornell University of Veterinary Medicine did note in one of their articles that FRAPs are normal behaviors in dogs and often associated with releasing pent-up energy or alleviating stress. So usually, Zoomies means a good sign. It means your dog's comfortable, safe, and happy, and letting off that excess energy before bedtime. But there are some moments where you might need to shut it down, and that can be more difficult to do than you might think. In fact, we're gonna talk about that in 1 second. But if your Doberman is extra stressed and they're pacing and anxious all the time, their Zoomies can be a clue of something going on the inside for sure. And a lot of owners really overlook how nutrition plays into that. In fact, I wanna share with you a quick story from one of our viewers, Anna, who made the switch to all these extremely nutritious fresh foods for her Doberman Booker and what actually happened to Booker as a result.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm a longtime Doberman Planet viewer just like you guys. After I signed up with Ollie, they delivered fresh, cooked recipes in refrigerated packaging straight to my door. I've been feeding Booker Ollie's fresh human grade meals. I have noticed a ton of changes in him. He has a lot less anxiety, he's calmer throughout the day, and he actually even listens better to me now, which is amazing. Booker is also super regular now with his bowel movements, and so I know he's healthier just because of the new demeanor. His body truly is just enjoying his fresh dog food so much more. So yes, I would absolutely recommend Ollie to other Doberman owners out there.
That right there, that is what we see all the time when owners focus on their Doberman's nutrition. And it's just really easy with Ollie to upgrade your Dobie's diet. Their meals are fresh, they're human grade, designed with veterinary nutritionists, and they're personalized to your dog's needs. Now, Ollie did absolutely sponsor this video today, and we're very thankful for that because it allows us to really spread the message of how real nutrition shouldn't be overlooked, especially with this breed. So if you want to see how your dog responds, just go to the link in the description down below. It'll be right down there. Don't forget to use the coupon code Doberman Planet at checkout on Ollie's page, and you'll get 60% off your very first box with them. So you can try it, see how your dog reacts. Your Doberman might not be able to thank you with words, but you might be able to tell in other ways what's going on below the surface, just like Anna could. So how do you handle the Zoomies when your Doberman gets them? Well, first, if you can, just let it happen. Get out of the way, let them blow out that extra steam. If it's not an appropriate time for the Zoomies, simply just change the formula. What I mean by that is if they're inside the house, they just came from outside, maybe it's time to do a little training time. Maybe grab a treat and bring them to a different room. Maybe bring them back outside to do a little play with a ball. Or ask him to sit, or give him a few other commands, or take out a favorite toy. Just somehow change this formula, and very often that alone will snap him out of it. And don't worry, if it's happy Zoomies, you're usually not in danger unless, they run into you like a wrecking ball, which does happen sometimes. Now, when they're done with the Zoomies, it's a great time to reinforce a self-soothing behavior, which is always gonna happen right after, which is where they kind of slouch down onto one side, or roll onto a hip, or lay down and relax. When that happens, don't ignore it. Go over there and calmly praise and reward. Now, if you're trying to prevent especially chaotic episodes of the Zoomies, definitely keep a strong routine and consistency in your day, as well as plenty of exercise and mental stimulation. Puzzle toys are wonderful for this, and a lot of people, they'll exercise their Doberman plenty, but they'll kind of neglect the mental side, which is something that you don't want to do because it can lead to this as well. Whatever you do, they have to have some sort of outlet, whether it's before these Zoomies happen and then the Zoomies never actually occur, or just letting them go on the Zoomie way. It's up to you. So Zoomies aren't really a problem in and of themselves. They're a window into your Doberman's kind of emotional world. They're just letting off steam, they're having fun, and really they're just showing that they trust you. And your job isn't just to eliminate that chaos, it's to understand it, it's to guide it, and make sure that, your furniture survives in the process. But remember, everything is a clue to how they're feeling on the inside. So if this is combined with other behaviors, such as anxiety or other anxious behaviors, it could mean that there's a point of stress in their lives that you really should address as their owner. And if you want to keep building that bond with your Doberman, make sure you subscribe. Drop the craziest Zoomie story down in the description down below, please, just for my reading pleasure. I would love that. Always gets a good laugh. And I'll see you on the next one.